Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. A few days ago, there was a cross burning at Grant Park in Chicago. And they said this cross was burnt near the black neighborhood in Chicago. So the person that was leaving was there around the time the cross burning took place. That's why you see those shots of the Asian man that's going across the road shirtless. And they said he's the suspect that they're looking for. So I looked at, additional stories, and it don't look like they caught him yet. But when you look at the pictures, yes, he is definitely Asian. I saw different shots of him. And, you know, if this turns out to be this man who they're suspecting, y'all need to be deported out of here. We have gone through hell for 400 straight years. We don't need y'all floating your asses over here and becoming a nuisance to us or flying, or I don't care how you got here, in all honesty. But if you come in and you're just going to be an annoyance to us, even you Asians can get the hell out of here and go home. Seriously. You know, I'm tired of looking at racist Latinos, racist Asians, everybody, even the Africans, even they got issues. See how, and I showed you some of the videos of the Asians online crashing out. Oh, they are just going all in. Oh, you gonna need this and need that. That's not true. We're not gonna need anything for real. So it is just, I think if the Most High did not make us witness this, we probably would not have believed it. But I think we needed to see these Africans and Asians and Latinos and them using the N word and talking down on us. We needed to see this. We really did. This was necessary in order for us to separate from these folks. But you still got some that are trying to still, think they can have a coalition or bond with these people. Man, I ain't trying to do none of the above. I just want us to, if that's how they feel, then we need to separate. And y'all really need to go home. If you don't belong here, you need to go home. I mean, all of you immigrants that hate on us, you all need to go home. I don't care what group you come from, you all need to get out of here. So, we're going to watch this so you can get an idea. I think this happened about 2 or 3 days ago in Chicago, this cross burning. All right. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
In 2026, we are burning crosses.
The outrage grows one day after someone set a cross on fire in the heart of downtown Chicago.
There's no way to explain this nicely, except it's hate.
24 hours after the cross was set ablaze, stirring up racist white supremacy acts, Chicago police released this image of a man they say is a person of interest. Police say this shirtless guy was caught on surveillance leaving the park moments after the cross was torched. CPD calling this an arson investigation, but Father Michael Flager with St. Sabina Church insisting this is a hate crime.
If that was a swastika, people would have immediately reacted. But it's a burning cross, which is the symbol of supremacy and KKK. That's its symbol for decades.
And that symbol showed its face in the middle of the afternoon for all to see along Columbus Drive.
Every time we excuse it, we feed it.
And while burning of a cross is not a crime on its own, it can be prosecuted as a federal hate crime and violation of civil rights if it is determined that there was intent and or intimidation of someone's civil liberties. And that's why the FBI is looking into what happened here at Grant Park.
We can fight that cross burner. They're the few and we are the many.
Over at Operation Push, Yusef Jackson says, while investigators look into the intent, this is a reminder of today's ongoing societal issues.
It also lets you know that these adversaries and these enemies that want to divide us and separate us and cause violence and harm to us never die.
Governor J.B. Pritzker writes, "Let me be clear that hate has no home here in Illinois." Cardinal Blaise Cupich, the Archbishop of Chicago, says, "We were reminded that the sickness of spirit they symbolize exists not only in the pages of history, but in our present day," adding, "Hate has no place in our country, our city, and our hearts." St. Sabina is offering a $10,000 reward to help identify and arrest the man police are looking for.
A person who would do this is capable of doing anything.
In Grant Park, Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
A burning cross set on fire in Chicago. That's what residents witnessed and even captured on film. So upsetting to members of the community here. This is a symbol of the KKK. They used to burn these crosses in the Deep South. And even today, contemporary offshoots of the KKK do this. Now, police are investigating. They still do not know who is behind this crime. They did put out a bulletin warning residents to be aware of this crime, telling them to stay away from the area, and showing this image of a person who might be connected to this crime. But an active investigation continues to be underway as police try to figure out who was behind this.
Watching so many Asian Americans show their entire anti-Black backside in videos and comment sections regarding the acquittal of Rick Chow and the call to boycott Asian businesses, and now the cross burning in Chicago, has been a masterclass in how racism is narcissistic abuse. Because so many wisecrackers are out here yelling and screaming as though Black people somehow did something to us, when all they want is to be left alone. So first of all, Rick Chow was acquitted. I don't know how anybody with a shred of intellectual honesty or morals can be at peace with that, but Rick Chow was acquitted. So for you to be making videos or going into Black people's comment sections, arguing as if they're the problem and you're somehow the victim because you feel unpopular in this moment because Rick Chow was acquitted, is narcissism at best and malicious hatred at worst. As for the boycotts, Asian Americans are not entitled to Black people's money, plain and simple. Business 101, provide quality goods, quality service, and treat your customers with respect. But if you've made a habit of providing subpar goods and subpar service and disrespecting your customers, rest assured, your business is not being judged on the basis of one Rick Chow. Your business is being judged for what it is. If you go into a Black neighborhood and open a business and you've made a habit of treating Black customers like they're the problem, pitching a fit and playing victim when your Black customers say, "We won't be bothering you anymore," is narcissistic abuse. And finally, the cross burning. For the past 18 months, Black Americans have been living under an administration that has been overtly organizing for decades to do everything it can to drag the country back to Jim Crow. And the sick plot twist and the fuckery that was passing the Hart-Celler Act a year after the Civil Rights Act and making Asian Americans the new window dressing on the myth of the American dream is that in the past week, it was Asian Americans who actually did it. The acquittal of Rick Chow brings us back to 1991 and the killing of LaTosha Harlins, and the cross burning in broad daylight in Chicago brings us right back to Jim Crow. And the thing is, Black Americans know who holds systemic power. Black Americans know better than anybody else what it is to never be viewed as an individual and to be condemned as a community for the actions of a few. So they also don't need to be told not to do that to other people. Black Americans are not judging Asian Americans on the basis of one Rick Chow or whoever burned the cross. They are simply responding to over 60 years of our community pushing them away with our escalating anti-Black antics. And if you don't like the way that feels, rather than treating Black people like they're the problem, we have to start by rooting out the infestation of anti-Blackness in our community. And if you're not willing to do that, the very least you can do is leave Black people alone and stop asking them to be an audience for your anti-Blackness.
Chicago police investigating this. It appears to have been a wooden cross found burning near Columbus Drive in Grant Park Tuesday afternoon. This video provided to us shows what appears to be a burning cross near the intersection of Columbus Drive and Balboa. Police say officers responded to that area at about 2:30 this afternoon after reports of an object on fire. The Chicago Fire Department extinguished the flames and no injuries were reported. Authorities have not yet announced it.
We do not claim this man. So apparently this guy decided to burn a cross in Chicago, which we all know has historically been a very racist sign that the KKK used. And the more situations that arise like this, the worse it makes our community look. I just want to make it clear that most Asians know that this is terrible behavior. With this, I do want to remind people that Asians are not a monolith, and assuming that all Asians are racist is in itself racist and perpetuates the stereotype that we are all the same. And at the same time, I do think there have been enough instances for Asians to have to kind of be on the defense, the same way that white people or men sometimes have to be like, by the way, guys, I'm not that. I'm not that. I guess this is me doing that. I guess in some ways it's a good thing because now it gives us the opportunity to clear the air and to define where we are in American society and in history. Because a lot of Asians forget, specifically because the US school system never taught us, that we have a lot of shared history with Black and brown people in America. I was a full-on adult when I found out that Asians were brought to the Americas as slaves as well. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know that. Or maybe people do know that and I just exposed myself. But I certainly never learned that in elementary school, middle school, high school, etc. I had to learn by going out of my way to learn. So let's make this guy the exception and not the rule and condemn this kind of behavior.
What's really, really crazy is how all these trees fell down right when somebody wanted to light up a cross and set it on fire. Why? So not too long ago, like maybe a day or so ago, somebody had lit up a cross in Grant Park and set it on fire. And then hours later, now you got all these trees uprooted out of the grass. Me personally, I've never seen nothing like that. I don't know where everybody else is at. They may be able to see that, but this is the second day with this type of weather going on right here. And I'm outside of Chicago. And when I tell you, somebody upset at God and you need to repent. But we all need to repent because Jesus is coming back soon. So, yes.
Chicago being diverse has never saved anybody. In 1919, white mobs burned Black neighborhoods down to the ground in Chicago. In this so-called most diverse city in America, a race riot that lasted 13 days and killed 38 people. Chicago being diverse did not stop the Chicago PD in 1969 from going and murdering Fred Hampton in his bed. 21 years old, 4 a.m. And so when a burning cross shows up in Chicago and y'all run into my comments talking about, but the suspect was Asian, like that's supposed to mean something? White supremacy is not a race. It's an ideology. It's a hierarchy. It's a belief system that any race, any ethnic group can subscribe to, including Black people. Black people can be anti-Black. We can't be racist because we don't have the power structures to back it. But we can, in fact, be anti-Black, very much so. And we can subscribe to white supremacy in the same way that the model minority group can. See, because the hierarchy of white supremacy requires non-white enforcers who will weaponize that belief system that they subscribe to in exchange for proximity to whiteness. That's quite literally what the model minority myth was built to do. It was not a compliment, it was a job offer. So please understand that a burning burning cross is not a white symbol. It's an anti-Black symbol. It's a symbol that has been used to terrorize the Black community for generations. It does not require a white hand to carry the same meaning and the same message. And before anybody tries to come into my comment section acting confused, let me explain, because this is why the conversation around the boycott exists. When you spend decades taking Black dollars, underpaying Black workers, calling the police on Black customers, following around Black children and shooting Black children in the back, and burning anti-Black symbols in Black spaces, you don't get to hide behind not being white. Anti-Blackness is still anti-Blackness no matter who's delivering it. You didn't have to have an invitation to be inside the big house to guard the plantation. Some people volunteered. We know this. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, and this is why we make the distinction between Black people and POC people. There is a difference. Anti-Blackness has no racial requirement, so the suspect being Asian does not change anything that I said. They never stopped burning crosses. They never stopped being anti-Black. This is not new.
Yeah, this last shot, I definitely wanted to get in. I said, yeah, mad over the boycotts could very well be. We see them crashing out online, not far-fetched at all. So, y'all, this is why after this week and seeing all these videos of Asians acting like they just put their racism all out on display. After watching that, I just want to steer clear of these immigrants. I don't have time. I'm with Muhammad Ali. I don't have time to be trying to figure out which one's okay and which one's not. You're all suspect to me. I just can't. I can't. So, y'all, let me just look at these. Quantum Solace, thank you for the super chat. This is the doing of Esau, always using the foolish to fight his own battles. Esau set this dude up for a dime of federal prison time, and he did it on federal land. Yeah, Grant Park. Thaddeus Peterson, thank you for the super chat. They think lack of melanin makes them white, and hating Black people get them closer to nirvana. This world is brainwashed. Yeah, but you know what? They're not embraced as white. They may desire to be, but they're not. The Anglos ain't going to let these Asians in like that. Just like they don't let in the Latinos, and they badly want to be let into that circle. Okay, and Quantum Solace, thank you again for the super chat. How insanely backwards of Congress. They are the ones who got an anti-Asian crime bill, yet they are the ones who are full of hate. They are engaging in this madness against the little ones who need it the most. Shaking my head, and thank you for your support for my channel, and I definitely agree with you. Yeah, they gave them a hate crime bill. It seems to me we need a hate crime bill against them. They have definitely done more harm to us than we have done to them. Definitely. Yeah, they missed the mark on that crime bill. Definitely. And thank you all for your support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. Oh, they heavily bleach their skin. I would say the Asians are right up there with the Africans in the Caribbeans with bleaching the skin. The Asians are deep into it. They are deep into it. And those creams are dangerous. Those creams are very dangerous, even for Asians. I've seen them, pictures of them with damaged skin from using those products. Those products got high levels of mercury in it. And over time, it starts destroying their skin. And you can see, I saw pictures of Asians that were using that um, skin lightener for like long periods of time. Their skin starts turning gray. It is really weird. It damages their skin too, but they put a lot of mercury in there. That's why it's not good to use that stuff at all. But we are not heavily into the skin bleaching. That's one thing about us here in America. We have never been heavily into that. Yeah, some people use that, but some of these folks, they strip the melanin out of their skin. And once you do that, that's why so many of them, they have all that damaged skin on their face and hands and everything. You look, you just stripped all your protection out from the sun. Now the sun is attacking you just like it's attacking the ones with pale skin. It's treating you like an object now. Foreign object, foreign object. But yeah, you should never use that stuff, especially the stuff that comes out of China. Those skin lightening creams are dangerous. Mm-hmm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And be on the lookout for my upcoming live streams. And don't forget to pick up your hair products. Now, I will be doing another sale next week for Juneteenth. It'll be about 4 days. I think Juneteenth falls on a Friday. So I'm looking at starting the sale on the 18th and run it through either the 21st or 22nd. And it will be 45% off. 45% off. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the stuff y'all writing. Have a wonderful evening and shalom, family.